Hold on. Alright, that's that. Hi, Armando. Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Grand Rising. I'm so happy to see you. How have you been? Ugh. Hi, Mary. Hi. Hi, 31T. Hey, baby. Grand Rising. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Lucky. Oh, uh-oh. Listen, it's the daytime. It's daytime, okay? How's everybody doing, though? Grand Rising. I'm so happy to see you all. I was on Friday, so we got on Friday and we hung out for like 2 hours, and I'm gonna tell you what, I feel like I had been to the club, honey. It took me a minute to get myself back together here. So these past 2 days, though, I'll tell you now, I've not been feeling great. Don't be calling no man, babe. Oh God. You made me forget what I was gonna say, child. I've not been feeling good the past 2 days, and so yesterday I was just completely down and out. And so this morning I got up and I'm like, you know what? Let me get up and get this done because I love you guys. I'm dedicated to this, to our new relationship, to our tribe that we're building. So I had to get myself together. But I hope everybody's having an amazing day despite my little stomach issues here. I'm still amazing. I'm always amazing. That's not going to stop anything. So I got our lesson ready for today. I'm not going to be on long. You already know. If you have a question or concern, chime in. I absolutely will touch on it, okay? So we're going to pick off from where we left off last week. I don't know if this is your first time on. If it is, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Like I said, I'm happy to see you. But last week we touched on the 7 skills to self-mastery. Right now we're talking about self-mastery. This is the part of the journey, right? Part of you mastering your vessel, right? So you can get into alignment and figure out what your purpose is, so you can go into your destiny and all these beautiful things here. We know it is absolutely a process. It is a journey, but this is what we're here for. So I'm going to jump right in. Today, our topic is going to be, you master yourself, you master your world. I'm sorry, your life. Master yourself, master your life. The first thing I'm going to touch on is going to be self-awareness. Okay? Listen to me. You cannot master what you do not notice. You must start to observe your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your habits, and without judgment. Okay? One thing that I can tell you from absolute experience is you live to learn to do better. So, despite what you begin to observe, don't be so hard on yourself, okay? You know me, I'm a very hard self-critic on purpose, because part of me being so hard on myself is me keeping myself in check. But at this point in this part of your journey, you don't want to be that self-critical, okay? You want to be in the space of compassion and understanding, okay? Allowing yourself that grace and that space to make these changes. We know that nothing great happens overnight, so give yourself that grace. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself that grace, okay? Awareness is absolutely the foundation of change. You cannot change what you are not aware of. Okay? Not only that, I want you to keep in mind that your awareness is what? Your actions, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your emotions. And these components, these four things combined, is what creates your reality. That's all your reality is made up of. So the question I want you to ask yourself is, are you going to be a conscious creator or an unconscious creator? Because up to this point, 9 times out of 10, you might have been doing things unconsciously, subconsciously, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few things, 3 little things here that can help you cultivate your self-awareness, okay? The first one is going to be journaling. I tell you that all the time. Journal, write. Meditating. Going on walks. You want to do things that are cause your attention to be present, okay? So that's the first thing, self-awareness, okay? Number 2 is going to be self-discipline. Adios, hermana, que tengas un bien día. Okay, baby, you have a beautiful day too, my love. I think that's what you said. I'll see you later. Number 2 is going to be self-discipline. You have to, at this point, make a choice and a decision. That means you have to start doing what needs to be done. You're going to have to start implementing some non-negotiables in your life. These are things that they're non-negotiable. They must be done. You have to now get used to doing the hard things. This is also a part of you unprogramming yourself, okay? You want to start building habits that are in alignment with your new goals. So that means it's not going to be about waiting to be inspired, okay? At this point, it's going to be about showing up for yourself daily, no matter what, until these new habits that you begin now to implement start to carry you forward. Because at some point, once you get into your consistency, right? Because that's the other thing, consistency. You must be consistent. But once you can get consistent in your journey of discipline, all those old habits are going to start to fade away, because you're going to be so now focused and attuned to these new habits that you have now implemented into your life. Remember, every time you remove something negative, you get to replace it with something beautiful. This is a part of you being in co-creation, okay? This is a part of you now creating the atmosphere and environment for these changes to take place, okay? Consistency and discipline combined equals freedom. So, 2 things that you can start doing. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 things here that you can start implementing also to cultivate your self-discipline, okay? One is going to be calendar. Start keeping a calendar. Write things on your calendar so you can keep up with your days. A checklist, a planner, things like this. This will absolutely help you begin to cultivate that discipline, okay? 3 is going to be emotional mastery. You got to get in control of your feelings. You cannot keep allowing your feelings to control you. You cannot allow your feelings to dictate what your life looks like and what you act, how you respond. Absolutely not. Feelings are supposed to be signals, okay? Your feeling is a signal to you, letting you know if something is good, if something is bad, if something is scary, whatever the situation may be. Also, we know a feeling is what? A feeling is the base of your emotional system, right? A feeling is an emotion. Your emotion is your magnet. Your emotion, your magnet is how you pull the experiences into your life. So you want to absolutely make sure that you're operating out of a healthy emotional space. You know, one of the things I hear people say a lot is, they can't understand why they keep experiencing the same things, having the same experiences, coming across the same types of people. It's because you're giving out the same type of energy, and your energy is your emotion. Your emotions are also identifiers. I'm sorry, your feelings are also identifiers. Like I said, they let you know what's going on. It's also a part of your intuition. That's a part of your sixth sense. What do I tell you all the time? You can't have something that you don't feel. Anything in your life that you experience started with a feeling. Your feeling gives it life, whatever it is, to whatever it is. Whatever that emotion is, it cannot be felt. It cannot be expressed unless you give it life. You also do not want to be making decisions out of an emotional place. This is why they say, when you argue and things like this, you don't want to make decisions when you're upset. You don't want to make decisions when you're sad. You don't want to make decisions unless you are in a healthy emotional place. This is why you must now begin to learn to what? Respond and not react. A reaction is your action based off of a feeling that you felt coming from a situation or a person that you are involved with in the current time and space. Do you know how much power that is? That is powerful. For another person to be able to come in and control how you feel, because you allow your feelings control what you do and how you move. Do you know you've given all your power away? You must learn to respond and not react. Also, every time you react, especially if somebody hits you like with a negative emotion or something negative, that's how the spiral effect begins, because they hit you with it and then you hit them back with something else, and now the escalation of whatever it is because one person is reacting while another person is reacting. Nobody is responding at all. When you react, you allow that emotion, that feeling to, it's like a puppet. You're a puppet because that feeling is running your body, your vessel at that time and space, okay? So, whenever you have A feeling, whenever you receive a feeling, what do you want to do first? You want to observe that feeling. Because a feeling derives from a thought. And we already know just because you think a thing does not mean that it's true. Okay? Especially if you are a leader or you run a business or things of this nature, you can't be running around making decisions based off emotions. That means you have cross-contamination of things. You're taking one situation into another. There's no boundaries. There's no limitations. Everything is just bleeding into each other. That's not the way to do things, okay? That's not the proper way to do things, nor does it allow you any type of balance. That means you carry around things from one situation to the next, into the next situation. That is not healthy. That's also how you get stuck under that existing and not living. Because you've allowed all these situations and experiences to accumulate over time, and now they've kept you or are keeping you in certain emotional places that are not allowing you to thrive and to grow. Another little side note I want to put about this emotional thing is, have you ever been around a person and you know they're having a bad day, or you know they're going through something, or whatever the situation may be, and instead of them keeping that energy to themselves, they go out and spew it out to everybody else? You don't want to be that person. That's not healthy. That's not good for anyone. We know that the world, we are energetic beings. Everything that we experience derives from some type of energy. So you want to be mindful about the energy you are exerting. Not only the energy you are exerting, but the energy that you are receiving. Because energy cannot be transferred, nor created, nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. So 2 things you can start doing to deal with this emotional mastery is make sure that you set time aside to release and reset. Whatever releasing looks like for you. Maybe it's a spiritual bath. Maybe it's going out for a hike. Maybe it's boxing. I don't know. But some way to release that energy so you're not allowing it to just store up. Okay? And reset. You always want to take time to do a little reset. Like I was telling you the other day, I do mine on Sundays. A little reset here. Okay? Now, number 6 is going to be self-love and worth. You must love yourself first. How can you even begin to think or speak about loving somebody else if you are not loving yourself? This is the problem. Now, people go around and seeking validation and that love from others when you should be your own supply. You are your own source of happiness. Somebody else is supposed to come along into your life and add on to, intensify. But for you not to be your own source of love, your own source of happiness first, you cannot live that way. I don't think a lot of people take this into consideration. Let me say this here. How you treat yourself is going to determine how other people treat you, period. If people see that you don't care about yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, if you mistreat yourself, guess what they're going to do? They're going to fall in line with that. They may say, right? they love you, and these type of things like this here. But this is where that unhealthy love comes from. This is where those trauma bonds come from. Things of this nature. Because the form of love that you are presenting and the form of love that you are receiving, also the forms of love that have been presented to you thus far, may not have been the unconditional kinds of love that we are technically should be experiencing. The agape love, all these beautiful things. And a lot of the reason we don't experience these types of loves is because it starts with self first, and a lot of the majority of people are not walking around with their source of love deriving from themselves. Loving yourself first, self-love fuels confidence and resilience. I can tell you that. I can attest to that, because until I have fallen in love with myself the way that I am now, I wasn't this confident. I wasn't this resilient either. Resilient means that you have a comeback about you, meaning that you can go through some things, endure some things. You may trip, but you don't fall. You have a bounce back about you. And this is because the things that you've been through in your life have prepared you for a certain thing. This is why I also tell you that nothing that you go through in your life is by mistake. Everything that you go through is absolutely on purpose. It's a part of this. It's a part of mastering your vessel. Another thing is, when it comes to your self-worth, I'm going to tell you now, that worth is not inherent. Okay? It's something that is, it's something that, I can't even get my words right here. I'm sorry. Worth is not earned. It's inherent, meaning it is a part of you. It is a characteristic. It is in your bones. It is in your DNA. You may not know it yet because you've not woken up to it yet. You got to start loving on yourself, okay? You must start loving on yourself. Things to do to cultivate your self-love is self-care. Spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. The version of yourself, not the version that the world created, not the version your parents created. I'm talking about yourself. This means you're going to have to do some self-exploration, discovery, and self-discovery, some self-introspection, and things of this nature. But take this time to do that. This is what's going to cultivate that self-love. The next thing is going to be growth mindset. You must let go of this limited belief system that you've been operating out of this time thus far. That box. Because what happens is, when you allow yourself to stay in that limited belief system, every time you try to even think a new thought, attain a new ideal, a new belief, you keep hitting the wall, because you have yourself confined to this tiny small space. You have to start branching out of that belief system. You have to start adopting your growth mindset, okay? And to grow, it means to get bigger, right? That's a part of growth. So you got to expand. You must open up. Open up your mind. I need you to understand that part of that growth, part of you growing is going to be facing challenges. That's a way that spirit stretches you, a way that spirit grows you. Because you have two choices when you are faced with a hard thing, when you find yourself in a difficult time. You can either allow it to propel you forward or allow it to take you back, because there's only two choices there to be made. You have to be able to sit back and ask yourself, when you find yourself in these difficult times, what am I here to learn? There's absolutely something there for you to learn in that situation. You learn the lesson, you advance to another level. If you don't learn the lesson, then you're going to have to stay there and repeat that cycle again. So all those things, those same people, those same experiences that you keep experiencing is because you've not learned the lesson yet. Someone said life is a test to remain pure. Well, life is a test. I believe life is a test. Life is a game, but it depends on the life that you're living, right? If you come here and live the life that you were created to live, or if you come here and live the life that you was given to you when you were born into the world. Because that life, the life that you are now living, depending on your level of consciousness, right? I don't know if you may have already had an awakening. You already may be living in your higher self and in your higher vibration. But if you find yourself here in this space, I like to think it makes me feel that you've not yet reached these certain levels. And so you have to ask yourself. You have to pick what you want to be a part of. Like I tell you, I live in this world. I live in the same world you live in, but I'm not of it. I'm not of it at all. I don't know a lot about a lot of things going on out there, because I don't live out there. I live in here. Right? You were created on purpose, with a purpose. Your goal, everything that you should be doing on a daily basis is cultivating what you were created to do. And if you do that, what happens is you then birth the world that is inside of you, because it comes to this 3D plane here. It's a universe inside of all of us. This is why if you don't create the thing, if you don't create what you were specifically created for, what God, Buddha, Allah, the universe, whatever it is you believe in, if you don't create what it is you were created for, it will never exist. It'll never exist. It will never hit this earthly realm here. Hey, mama, how you doing, my love? But what happens life, the ick, the trauma, the circumstances, the storms, the shadows, everything that you go through, that's what unpurifies you. So at some point, you have to absolutely go through that, repurification phase, that phase of being reborn. That phase of going into your higher self, whatever it is to you, however you define it, whatever you call it, we all talking about the same thing. So it's about you going back to center, about you going back to your core. And this is what mastery involves. Hey girl, I took my mess today. I feel better. I got my laundry. Oh yay. Well, listen, I'm glad. I'm so much glad you're feeling better, and that's the other thing, like I was telling you. Well, this is a part of this mastery journey. You have to get comfortable. You have to get comfortable with yourself. But depending on your life, what you're dealing with, and the things that have happened to your life is going to create a certain level of difficulty to sit with self. It's not easy for everybody to sit with themselves. Let's don't go into themselves. And I absolutely understand that. And this is why I'm here. And I get on here and give you these things. Okay, so we're talking about this limited belief system, right? Like I said, whenever you're faced with something difficult, it's either to propel you up or down. You also have to understand failure is feedback. Failure is a stepping stone to success. Every time you fail, that means you're a step closer to accomplishing whatever it is that you're working on. So instead of allowing that failure to set you back, allow that failure, like I said, to be assigned to you. So whenever you fail, cross it off the list and go on to the next thing. That means that's not the right way. That way is not going to work. But at least you know it now. And you don't have to keep doing it that way. It's all about your perspective. It's all about how you look at things. You can either be that, what do they call it, negative Nancy or positive Patty. Positive Patty, okay? It's your perspective. It's your perspective. This also shapes your life. Your perspective shapes your belief system. Oh, don't get me started here. So, try to rise up in perspective, okay? That's a little side note. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's not the time to do that. Let the Spaniards speak on this. In this universe, us Homo sapiens live and perish, and it's not the circle of life. What do you mean by that? It's not the circle of life. We live to die. Is that what you're talking about? Who's this? Armando? Vime. What are you talking about here? Whenever you in a hard situation, in a difficult time, have some appreciation. I know it sounds crazy. I know it does. But you know what? When I find myself in a hard time, in a difficult situation, I say, you know what? Thank you. First of all, for you to put me here must mean I'm strong enough to handle it. But it's also another beautiful lesson here for me to learn. And that can only mean that I'm being upgraded. Whenever you face with a difficult situation, look at it as an upgrade. As God upgrading you, Spirit upgrading you, okay? One way that you can cultivate your growth mindset is going to be start playing devil's advocate with yourself. Start asking questions, right? Start things that stimulate critical thinking. Start questioning the system and the program. How did you get here? What is going on? What you believe in? This is your life. You have the right to do that, my love. Okay? Do I know what the circle of life is? I think, yeah. Yeah, I do. I do know what the circle of life is. This is what you were asking me? Well, again, everybody's definition, right? Everybody's is not going to be the same because we're all living the same life, but we are all, it's like we're all at the movie watching the same movie, but we all see totally different things. For me personally, I think the circle of life is you are born to come to create something amazing, right? Leave a beautiful mark behind for the ones coming behind you and go on to the next place here. Now, the other thing about the circle of life can be you come to this world, you don't figure out what your purpose is, right? What you were created to do. And so what happens is then you come down here and you don't have the best experience and you have to come back and do it all over again. I think we're multi-dimensional beings. I think that we go from realm to realm. Personally, this is why I am making it being mindful and being intentional about figuring out my purpose and living in my purpose, because me personally, I don't want to come down to earth and do this again. Earth is not like, if I had like, well, I guess I did choose, right? Because before you come down here, you choose to come. So I chose to come down here for a reason, and I hope that the reason I chose, I'm getting it done. You also know I've been in the medical field, right, for 20 years or so. And so I understand that. Well, I believe that when you cross over, when you transition, I don't believe in death. I don't believe that we die. It's recycled and made into something else, refurbished, because that's all life is. It's just energy going around and around and again. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that we die. Like I said, I know that I have had some amazing experiences. I've worked in hospice, I've worked in the nursing homes, I've worked in the hospital. I mean, I've worked in people's homes one-on-one, where they took their last breath. And this is another thing that I can tell you about the circle of life. I know that when you do transition, when you do get ready to go, it's like, it's this thing, right? I look how excited I get. I know it sounds weird. It may sound weird to you. I love death. When I say that, let me say it. The experience of it, I've not experienced it personally, but to be in that space, to be in that transitioning space, is one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced in my life. To be that close to that realm, to be that close to the other side, to be that close to God, to be that close to spirit. But see, everybody is not this way like me. I'm an intuitive being. I understand that I'm a spirit having a human experience. I understand that I am energy. I understand that I'm an energetic being. So I'm attuned to the spiritual realm and the things going on. And like I said, well, you know, they have the most beautiful visits from their loved ones, and there's angels there. God is present. Oh, God, don't get me started here. We have to talk about that another day. But it is one of the most beautiful experiences that I've ever experienced. And I've been in some experiences where I've been close with the person who is actually transitioning. Like when I took care of my grandpa, I took care of my grandfather until he took his last breath. It was just me and him. But, and look, I have his ashes right here. I have him here with me. And hey, Sarah. Hey, Mama. How long you been on here, girl? I've been running my mouth. I've been running my mouth. I didn't see you on here. I know it's a celebration, but people don't understand that. People think that when you transition over, that you're supposed to be sad and it's dark. No, absolutely not. You're supposed to cry when a person is born, and celebrate when they die. So listen, you know, all the beautiful, oh God, like I said, you know, you're getting all the visits from the family members and the people coming and preparing them and getting them ready. Like when my grandpa was transitioning over. Oh, I have to tell y'all this story another day. But my God, let me tell you what. I could feel. Let me say this. I was a witness to several things happen. The doorbell rung a few times. Every time that doorbell rung, I went there. Nobody was there, but I knew to open that door. And my grandpa said a beautiful angel of somebody came in here. It was so beautiful. Not only that, I could feel them when they were like working on him. I remember sitting on the bed next to him, and I could feel the movement on the bed. Mind you, nobody's there, nothing's moving, but no, it's moving because I can feel it. And so I remember looking at my grandfather, and that's when I noticed like his body started modeling, right? You know, the body starts to model when it starts to lose the blood supply to certain extremities and things like this here, you know, the toes and the hands and the skin and all these things. The color starts to change, the form starts to change, you know, all these things here. And so I noticed that his feet were modeling, right? And so I'm like, oh, it's getting close to time. And, you know, I remember like looking at his feet, and him like pulling my attention away from his feet. And I was telling him, I was like, I asked him, I said, it's getting close to time, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Waiting, like, what do you want to do to them? We were singing, child, laughing. He could not say a word. Let me say this other thing. He couldn't say a word, but he could, because we had developed this language, you know. Oh, child, we had a great time, okay? And so, you know, I remember, like, I could feel the angels or whoever it was. You know, I say angels because, I mean, they were angels. They're not, you can't see them. And so, you know, like, working on them and getting them ready to go. And, oh, my God. I also, one of the other conversations that we also had was that he promised me that he was going to come and get me. Like, when I was transitioning over, that he was gonna meet me. And another thing, I'm laughing. And another thing I told him was to send me some money. My grandpa, that was our thing, right? Like money, like he'd always give me money. Like we were money. You see, well, what I was just talking about earlier, well, self-worth. Like my grandpa, he was a dresser, and the way he carried himself, and he just looked like money. You know what I mean? So that was another little one of our jokes. He told me that he was going to make sure I was rich. I'm waiting, Grandpa. I feel like we get close. I feel like we getting close here. Yeah, and so I got my grandpa right here, though. But, yeah, so everybody, like I said, everybody's definition of the circle of life is not going to be the same. But I think, like I said, we live to create, to go on to somewhere else, to keep creating. But I don't think that we die at all. Sarah, how you been, girl? How you been, my love? Armando, I'm so glad about you. Me too, because I just love you. I just love you here. Now you know that I do. You know I love you, Mando. How you been, Mom? I've not seen you, girl. Look, I'm here, girl. You see me? Sarah, I made it. I've been waking up every day saying I made it. I told y'all the other day on YouTube. I've been on this journey for 4 years, and I didn't put my foot in the water, got out. Put my foot in, got out. Put my foot in, got out. But that's because, like I said, I wanted to make sure that when I got here, I was my authentic, true self. I wanted to talk my talk, walk my walk, how I talked it, and I wanted to be fully transitioned, right? And so, girl, I made it. I see you, sissy. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. Look at us. How does it feel to be on the other side, girl? Let me know. My God, this is what I'm saying. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. It's levels. It's levels. It's levels to this. It's levels to this thing. Okay? I'm just saying like that. Now, the next thing is going to be purpose and vision. Purpose and vision. You must know your why. What did I just tell you? Start playing devil's advocate. This is why. You playing devil's advocate is going to allow you to get to your why. Why do you do the things that you do the way that you do them? Why do you feel the way that you do about certain things? Why do you view things the way that you do? Why do you react to things the way that you do? There's so many things that are involved into your why. Okay? Know your why. You must know your why. Purpose fuels perseverance. And that's because I'm going to tell you now. Look at me. This girl's on fire. That purpose lights a little fire in your spirit. Do you hear me? Look, Let me show you. This is what purpose do. Oh, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to do it. Oh, see how look. Uh-huh. Oh, perfect example for this. Look at this candle. Look at that candle. You see that hole in that candle? You see how way down that wick is? Imagine you as being that wick, because that's what I was when Spirit lit my fire. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. That's what I was when Spirit lit my fire. I was way down, sunken low, like this here. God. And let me tell you, this, because this is what God do. This is what Spirit do. It never stops. It never stops. It never stops. You go from level to level to level. The greater the responsibility, the greater the devil. It comes with the level. That devil also comes with the level. But check this out. This is what Spirit do. Ooh, can't even get down off inside of here. Yes, I can. That's what it looks like. That's what it feel like though sometimes. Ooh, how am I ever going to? But see, this is what Spirit do. See, this is what Spirit do. Spirit takes that beautiful time and get way down. Can you see it? Look. See that? See that? See that? That's what Spirit do. Spirit get down there in that soul and light that fire. That little bitty spark, because you be so, oh God, you so far and so low, and God, you calling me, you talking to me, and all these, you never believe it. So what Spirit does, Spirit ignites that fire in you. And what happens is, the more you feed that fire, the more you cultivate that fire, because you're going to have to cultivate it, right? Spirit is going to give you that first light. It's up to you to keep it lit. And the only way for you to keep that fire lit is what? By your beliefs, your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. That's what keeps that fire lit. The more you feed it, the more it grows. Vision guides, also guides discipline, right? And this is because every day that you wake up, everything from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep at night, everything that you are doing is going to be pertaining to that vision, to cultivating that vision, to growing that vision, to learning something more. I'm telling you now, it's my life I live every day, 24/7. And so what happens is your discipline begins to grow, because now that you can see that vision, now that you've gotten in alignment with that vision, now that you're beginning to get into your flow with that vision, you understand that it's your responsibility to go into your life, what used to be your life, because see, that's not your life no more. It was your life before God, before Spirit then lit that fire and gave you this vision, right? So it's your now responsibility to go into your old life and remove and rearrange things, people, places, habits, thoughts, emotions, whatever it is, to clear that way for you to bring that vision to pass. Okay? That's your responsibility. That's your obligation. Without direction, I'm going to tell you now, because what happens is when you don't have no direction, that means you don't have no vision. That means you don't have no ideal. That means you don't know what you're doing. So you just wasted energy all day long, because everything you're doing is a waste. I can tell you that now. because you're not building anything. It's not going towards anything. It's just energy being exerted. That means hanging out, watching TV, social media, doing the things, blah, 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 wasting time. That's a waste of energy. The problem is you've not got into alignment. You've not got into alignment, so God's spirit has not been able to deposit anything into you yet. And I'm going to tell you now, there's plenty of visions. There's plenty of visions. The lack is the vessels. Ain't nobody to put them in because you're too filled up. You must empty yourself out so you can be filled up. I do too, Sarah. I just did a fire cleansing on myself earlier, and I did a sun meditation yesterday. But I do sun meditation almost every day though. But girl, me too. So a few things that you can start doing to cultivate this space for you to get into alignment with your purpose is going to be, you got to spend intentional time with God. You must spend intentional time with spirit, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever it is that you believe in. That means you taking the time out of your day to sit down right here at this table and read your Bible. If that's what you're into. If you're not into the Bible, connect with the universe. You see what I'm saying? Like, you what? You don't like that? Well, the angel. You see what whatever it is to you. But you got to take time to do that. You have to take time to spend with spirit to build that intimacy. That's the only way for you to get connected. Remember, spirit, God works through you. It has to come through you. And the only way for it to come through you is you must provide the space. You must create the space for this to happen. This is a part of your free will, right? It's also a part of your free will. Number 7, last but not least, is going to be daily alignment. And I guess I kind of just covered that. Daily alignment. Actions daily. You got to be intentional daily to spend this time. From like the time I wake up in the morning, you know, a lot of people, the first thing they do, what is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? You jump on your cell phone. No. Show gratitude. Pray. Set the intentions for your day before you get out of bed. Cover yourself. See what I'm saying? No, but instead, you just jump up, uncovered, and just go out there exposed to all those energies, and that's all you experience all day is one energy going in and out of you from one person to another, one thing to another. Ooh, it's horrible. Like, that's what it looks like to me when I'm outside. I mean, it's becoming, I'm not going to say overwhelming, but like me going out in like public places or like where there's a lot of people, it's like I feel like you know, like roaches, like a lot of animal, you know, on something, like eating something, like consuming, like just a lot of bugs just going all kind of ways and don't nobody know where anybody's going and just oh my God, it's horrible. I hate it. I do not like going out there. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably told you that I spend the majority of my time inside, and I feel like it's just getting even more and more. So Daily alignment. You want to align actions daily. Okay? So, small choices shape your destiny. And that's because doing things piece by piece, bit by bit, a little at a time, actually allows you the time, space that you need to attain a goal. You trying to do this big great thing in one piece at one time is not sustainable. So it may last a little while, but it's not going to last over a long period of time. And at this point in your life, you want to set yourself up for success. You don't want to keep starting things to have to go back to start over again. So start implementing small choices, okay? Mastery means living in alignment with your values, your morals, your, not somebody else, you. This is about you. You are putting you first. You are loving you first. You are prioritizing yourself first. This is about you. Once you get yourself together, what do I tell you all the time? Then you go back and worry about everybody else. Then you start concerning yourself with others. Until then, you must be your main priority. Okay? And ask daily. I want you to start asking yourself daily. Whenever you are performing an action, whenever you are doing something, I want you to start asking yourself, does this move me closer to my best self? Am I reinforcing the old me or commanding the new me? Because every action that you take, everything that you do is either going to be reinforcing the old you or commanding the new you. The only way for you to master your vessel is going to be what? You need to be doing a whole lot of commanding, not reinforcing of the old. We want to be commanding the new. Okay? And a way for you to cultivate this daily alignment, pray, meditate. You know me, I have like my little vibe sessions in the morning where I put on my worship music and I worship, and it's about getting into that space. And once you get into that space and into that connection with God, with spirit, you'll begin to get downloaded. That's how you get your downloads and stuff like that, okay? But you gotta take the time. You have to take the time. You have to take the time to spend. Yes. God knows what you want, what you need, and all these things. But what I say all the time, God is not in the sky. God is in you, and you put a little too much responsibility on God. God is in you. You are God, so that means you need to be doing. You need to take action. You. God ain't never waiting on you. You ain't never waiting on God. God is waiting on you. Okay? So, you start implementing these things. Start implementing these things. You will absolutely see results. You're not seeing any results because you're not doing anything. And when you do start, you're not being consistent. I love you. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day. But what do I want you to absolutely make sure that you do the rest of your day? Bye-bye. I'll see you next week.